someone were to come up to me 2 years ago and tell me that used games were killing the industry, I would tell them that they were stupid, and really no one else would come up with an argument that retarded. But unfortunately, now people have. Game publishers have been thinking of ways to circumvent the used sales industry through things like Project $10, where you buy the game used and you have to pay $10. And it's not really surprising that publishers are doing this. Of course, they're going to do things to make as much money from the games as possible. What is surprising is that gamers themselves are now lashing out against the used games industry, saying it's somehow bad for the industry. Of course, against their own self-interest. Now, what these idiots don't understand is that, first of all, it is your right as a consumer to transfer goods that you own through the use of sales or lending to someone under the First Sale Act of 1976, I think. Now, there's currently a debate in courts right now over whether when you buy software, you own the game, or you own it, or you're renting it, or you're leasing it. Of course, you own it. The idea that you're leasing it is just something that these publishers are coming up with to make more money and take more control over their product. But as of now, it is still your right to sell and buy used games. And the used games, the used industry has been part of the free market ever since the free market has been around. The one argument I heard against the used games industry is that games don't deteriorate over time, meaning a game made 10 years ago will still play just as well as it did 10 years ago, which, first of all, probably not even true. If you've ever tried to play one of those games from 1998 that has like 5 discs on a new computer, a lot of times it won't even fucking work. Second of all, even if it were true, there are lots of things where that's the case. There are a lot of things where things actually get better as time goes on, particularly musical instruments. A Fender Stratocaster sold for maybe $250 in maybe like 1958 will fetch something like $20,000 now, and none of the money is going to Fender. You don't see Fender filing lawsuits on people who are selling vintage gear. In fact, they think it's good for them, because if someone buys a vintage Stratocaster and then goes up and plays it on stage, you're advertising for Fender. So I mean, every industry has to deal with the used market in one way or another. The way the game industry is acting right now is just extremely greedy, and all it does is hurt the customers as usual. In other news, in Electronic Arts and their continued war against consumer rights has reached a new low with their distribution system known as Origin. Now, what Origin does is, if you click agree when you're installing it, you give EA the right to search your entire hard drive, take any information they want. That means your porn folder, that means photos of you from school, that means anything you have on your computer. Sell it to third parties. That's spyware, and that's illegal. Yet people are still buying it, and people are still defending it. It really baffles me at this point. I mean, I'm not surprised by anything. And Activision can announce with their next Call of Duty game that they're going to shut off the computers of every 10th user just to keep customers on their toes. People will be defending that. They'll be like, oh, I can't wait to get my computer shut off. I'm going to be having fun! What, you're afraid of fun? It's ridiculous. Are people ever going to stand up and demand basic consumer rights? Or are they just going to, keep allowing this bullshit to go on until, publishers are stealing all our information or doing all these harmful things to our computer, and posting things we have that are private on the internet? Nothing's gonna stop people from buying this shit, is it? I mean, they could say, Activision employees have the right to go to your house and vomit on your floor and rape your dog. There'd still be people defending that, probably. I'm not saying that we need to form a gamers union or something like that. I'm just saying people should work for their own basic consumer rights instead of working for the benefit of some faceless corporation that doesn't give a rat's ass about them. I don't think that's unreasonable. Now, people are going to say, oh, you're on Steam, that's just as bad as Origin. No, it's not. Steam does not in a non-consensual way search your computer. You have an option for it to collect information about the Steam games you have, meaning not even in your entire computer, just the Steam games you have, and that's optional. That's a completely different fucking thing right there. Second of all, with Steam, I rarely pay over $10 for games. Really, every game I have on Steam, I got for somewhere from $5 to $6. So I'm paying the price of a rental and getting a game that is not really mine, but I'm renting indefinitely. So yeah, I'm paying for a rental and getting a rental. With Origin, you're paying full price for a game and getting spyware. I think there's a huge fucking difference there. I don't really see how anyone can even draw a comparison.